We want to get back here to the DNC at the United Center. Tonight's theme, a bold vision for America's future. A sub-theme, if you will, though, Illinois.
Yes, it was like Illinois night. We saw and heard from a lot of familiar faces. The biggest, of course, former President Barack Obama.
We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse. America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Reacting there, we saw Don Cheadle, a famous actor, of course, in the audience. But here, before the former president spoke, a public embrace with his wife, Michelle. She addressed the audience, too, recounting how they became frequent targets of Donald Trump.
His limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of 2 hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
We also heard from second Gentleman Doug Emhoff.
While Kamala Harris headed 90 miles north to woo voters up in Wisconsin, her husband painted a more personal picture, focusing on the VP's role in their family.
With your help, she will lead with joy and toughness, with that laugh and that look, with compassion and conviction. She'll lead from the belief that wherever we come from, whatever we look like, we're strongest when we fight for what we believe in.
Certainly an electric night here at the United Center, with the crowd fired up, especially to hear from former President Obama.
Our Chris Tye has new reaction from the convention floor right now. Chris.
Joe and Erica, simply put, there is no more political muscle than those 2 people, Barack and Michelle Obama, speaking to this crowd in this city. How did it play in this hall? Let's put it this way. Bobby Rush, the only politician who ever beat Barack Obama in a public office, said it was soul-stirring. Others say this was not just a baton passing. This was a blueprint being produced for how this crowd needs to leave this convention this week to carry it the next 77 days.
They gave us the roadmap. They told us what to do, how it's to be done, and why we need to do it.
I felt that rebirth of hope through both Michelle and Barack Obama's remarks tonight, and a real belief that Kamala Harris is in fact the messenger to carry us forward.
It was standing room only on this floor the minute Michelle Obama took the floor and then handed it off to her husband. You could hear a pin drop. This room was just mesmerized. I can tell you, Joe and Erica, I did hear around some people around me where we were watching from saying, boy, you forget how much you miss that family in the White House. But they were trying to reset that this 8 years that the Obamas had in the White House, clearly in the rearview mirror, it's moving forward, and folks leaving here tonight fired up and ready to go, to steal a phrase from 2008. Back up to you.
Chris, thank you very much.
Well, the convention is for sure a big party. There's also some official business to tackle.
And tonight, that included the roll call, making Kamala Harris the nominee. Here's how the delegates from Illinois weighed in.
Illinois casts 1 vote present and 176 votes for the next President of the United States, future Madam President Kamala Harris.
Governor Pritzker did the honors, announcing the delegate votes, and then rapper Lil Jon got the whole party turned down for what? Well, for the ceremonial roll call. Several states passed their vote, as is tradition, to make sure California, the vice president's home state, put her over the top for the nomination.
Yeah, especially that Georgia section. Boy, they were so wild when he came out there. Rightfully so. He is from there. Also, speaking of Pritzker, he had a prime speaking role tonight. The convention, of course, is his state, and he made the short list of Kamala Harris's running mates. Tonight, he had some sharp words directed right at Donald Trump.
Donald Trump thinks that we should trust him on the economy because he claims to be very rich. But take it from an actual billionaire. Trump is rich in only one thing: stupidity.
We also want to share part of a special performance from a well-known Chicagoan, the rapper Common. Mayor Lightfoot credited him with helping bring the convention here, and tonight he did not disappoint.
Fortunate to be born and raised in the shy, salt of the earth, people with the bravest eye. They say your God is the truth, I wasn't raised to lie. Fortunate to be so que sera. Every day that I get up, I trace the sky.
He performed his recently released song Fortunate, switching up the lyrics with a nod to his hometown and telling the crowd to be fortunate for Kamala Harris.
The music was great tonight. Patti LaBelle was phenomenal.
Yeah, it did that tribute to those who passed away, but the crowd still, when you hear a powerful voice like that, you're still moved.
Yeah.